I have the clock and the serving tray all ready. I already put 2 top coats on it already, and the third coat should finish it real nice. I just sanded it. I cleaned it with denatured alcohol, and it's ready to go. So it's turning out nice. We got the bullets in there. It's nice and smooth. I'm going to leave it a epoxy top coat so it's nice and shiny, and it'll be nice and clear. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll put the top coat on. You want about 3 ounces per square foot. So I have that mixed up, and we're going to go ahead and put it about an 1/8 inch thick with a notch trowel, and we'll let it spread out. Use the heat gun to spread it, get all the bubbles out, any little marks, and then I'll go ahead and I'll slide a piece of cardboard over top, and that'll keep a lot of dust from falling in your finish. You can never really keep all the dust out of your finish. You just always tend to get some. It's just very hard to keep it all out. I've talked to guys that have paint booths, and they still get some dust, even with a downdraft paint booth. So it is very hard to keep dust out. Dust just seems to be everywhere. So here we go. I am using Incredible Solutions UV Pro. This is supposed to be more UV resistant to yellowing. So that's why I'm using it for the top coat. I have the top coat all mixed up. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to start pouring it. Use an 1/8 inch. Use a 1/4 inch notch trowel. 1/4 inch notch trowel. We're going to pour some out. Probably about half and half. And then I'm going to take the notch trowel. Let me pull the camera a little closer. I'm going to take the notch trowel and spread it out the full 1/4 notch. You want to make sure you got a full 1/4 notch. You want a nice even coat. If it's uneven, that's when you get dimples and all kinds of issues. So I'm going to use a little more. It takes quite a bit. 3 ounces to the square foot is quite a bit. And you can see it just lays. I have it. It is pretty warm in here. It's about 80 degrees, which is really a nice temperature for pouring because the epoxy flows real good. I heated it up a little bit, and it's really flowing nice. If the temperatures are right, it'll almost flatten out on its own. You won't even really have to use the heat gun. And I just let the epoxy just flow over the sides and just drip right off of the edges. You want to make sure you get full coverage. Come over here, you do the same thing. And if you're pouring a big table, you kind of want to work it like in a line. You don't just want to go all over the place because then you can't tell how even you have it. I'm going to put a little more in this corner. Then I'll go ahead and I'll do the sides. And the less time you have this open, the quicker you get the cardboard on it, I've noticed the less dust you're going to have. The more you mess around with it, my experience has been more dust. So I have that done. Now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do the sides. I have a brush here. I'm going to take and brush the sides. Some of it may have enough epoxy, or I just take and I get some out of the container and I paint it on. Make sure you don't miss any spots. You will see it if you miss a spot. Any spots you miss, just add a little bit. A foam brush works also. I like using those. I just didn't have any right now, so I'm using just a regular brush. Some people use their hand. I don't really like using my hand. You can just rub it on with your hand. You want to be careful of brush hairs. That looks pretty good. Then I'll go ahead and I'll take the heat gun. Get all the air bubbles out. Like I said, make sure brushes, you want a nice even surface. If you see a low spot, just add a little bit. You can push it around with the heat gun to even it up. Go right around the sides. Looks like I'm just going to have enough. Make sure you work it into the sides. You don't want any dry spots. It'll show. Just made enough, I think. All right, I'm going to take the heat gun. I do see a couple low spots, so I want to add a little bit right here. I'm getting kind of low on epoxy. Right along the edge here, I want to add a little bit. You can kind of look in the light at an angle, kind of see where you might need some. Any dry spots, you want to make sure you add some. Looks like I have it all covered. I like to keep a denatured alcohol rag handy. Your hands get kind of sticky. And the less time we keep this open, the less chance of dust. So I'm going to work pretty quickly, and that'll be it. I'll just cover it up. And once the epoxy starts getting sticky, you don't want to add any. It will show. It won't blend. I have done that. Waited too long. Also, when you turn your heat gun on, make sure it's away from where you're pouring in case there's dust in your heat gun. And this is looking real nice. This looks like it's going to be a real nice pour. Make sure you don't miss any spots. It's easy to do. You can see the bubbles popping as you go over the top. I have the heat gun on 650. Okay, this is done as far as I'm concerned. I don't see any spots. What you can do also is run a brush along the bottom. That'll get the drips off so you don't have to sand as much later. You're still going to get some, but it does help. So I'll just take it right along the bottom. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get in here, especially if you got them too close like I have them. Alright, these are two nice pours. I'm going to put some cardboard over them. Clean cardboard, not dirty, not on the floor. Now, when you put your cardboard on, you don't want to just flop it down on there. You want to slide it in. So when I put this cardboard on, now it's pretty humid. One thing you don't want is the cardboard falling on top. So I have this channel I'm going to put on there in the middle. That way it doesn't fall. Now, when I do this, notice I come right across. And that's it. I don't want the channel over top. Okay, and then that's it. Let it dry. A couple hours, you can check it out. This stuff sets up pretty quick.